True love does not have any boundaries that bind. True love does not care for beliefs of any kind. True love sees all beings as our siblings past. True love sees beyond all colors and castes. True love kills not, but gives new life. True love gives care and soothes all the strife. True love sees all animals as old friends reborn. Knows all of them from lives beyond. True love means we don't eat our families. True love clears the stench of lower cemeteries. True love means it is always returned. True love.
You are vegetarian,
Yes.
and since when?
Basically for the last 40 years.
And what's the reason you became vegetarian?
Well, I think because the idea that, well, to quote George Bernard Shaw, animals are my friends and I don't eat my friends.
Mm. And that's basically it.
Well, you know, I mean, just as I wouldn't particularly like someone to kill and eat me, I don't think any being wants to be slaughtered and killed and eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And especially considering the manner in which animals are killed in this day and age, the terror and trauma that they go through in the process. How can we sit down and eat them?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course in Tibetan Buddhism we are taught that all beings have been our mothers. And really, if you really believe what you're saying, then how can you sit down and eat your mother?
Mm-hmm. And do you think it's controversial within Tibetan Buddhism, eating meat?
Oh, it's extraordinarily hypocritical, that's for sure. In Tibet, they had an excuse insofar as it was a very high climate and there really wasn't much growing, and especially for the nomads, it would be very difficult to cultivate. So there, the only thing which was available to be eaten was the barley flour, the tsampa, and the meat and products from the milk, from the tree, the female yak. But, I mean, Tibetans have been living now in exile in India and Nepal for 50 years, and both those countries are primarily vegetarian. They have plenty of vegetables, they have plenty of protein in their lentils and their dals and their milk products. and there's simply no excuse anymore.
No.
And in fact, the lamas themselves and the ordinary people know that by eating so much red meat, they are getting diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, stomach cancer, and a lot of arthritis.
Yeah.
So they know now. They say, oh, this is because I eat the wrong kind of diet, but I can't give it up.
And it also seems that for health reasons, only Tibetan Buddhist lamas need to eat meat. And sometimes they eat meat and they say, yes, it's because my doctor advised it, or it's for my health. But it's not in other traditions, is it? Without being personal to one lama or another, but...
Well, the thing is that if the Tibetans have it very strongly in their mind that if they go without meat for one meal, that they feel weak, and next meal have to make it up by double the quantity.
Mm-hmm. So it's culture.
It's culture, but it's naughty also, because they say, oh, well, you know, we were brought up eating meat. Now, first of all, this doesn't necessarily have to be true, because most of the Tibetans in India and Nepal were brought up in India, not in Tibet. But also, we as Westerners were also brought up eating meat. I mean, you know, in an English breakfast, you get bacon and sausages for breakfast. The main meal is centered around the meat, and also in the evening again, it's all meat. If you take away the meat, all you've got is potatoes and squishy vegetables. I mean, there's nothing. You know, the whole point of the meal is the meat. So it's not that we were brought up as vegetarians either, but as soon as we realized that what we are eating is actually was a living being who wanted its life and didn't want to be killed, and was probably reared in the most ghastly of conditions before dying a very painful and traumatic death. How can one subscribe to that? And in that way approve of that torture for millions of animals by eating them?